Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family. Because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling.
Breaking news from the world of Chinese entertainment. Glowing star: what happens when an agency accuses a rising star of dating her own manager, and that star finally decides to speak out? Today we dive into the dramatic twist involving actress Zhao Lusi and singer Liu Yunning, a story that's shaking fans across Asia and beyond. When the story first emerged, it was not whispered gossip circulating between fans but a direct statement from Zhao Lusi's own agency, and that alone made it impossible to ignore. The claim was bold. They accused Liu Yunning of being romantically involved with Zhao Lusi's manager, a charge that sounded both unusual and strangely calculated. In an industry where rumors are a daily currency, what set this moment apart was not the suggestion of a relationship, but the source of the allegation. For many observers, it felt less like the uncovering of truth and more like the beginning of a power struggle, one where the agency seemed intent on taking control of Zhao Lusi's personal narrative. The accusation quickly sent waves through the entertainment world. Fans were left unsettled, not because they believed the story, but because they sensed there was more beneath the surface. Was the agency trying to weaken Zhao Lusi's standing by linking her career to private speculation? Was Liu Yunning being dragged into a controversy that had little to do with him, simply because his rising popularity and closeness to Zhao Lusi challenged the balance of power? Questions like these began to swirl, creating a climate of tension that reached far beyond the initial claim. What made the situation even more striking was the timing. Zhao Lusi has been steadily building her career, earning both critical praise and a loyal fan base. Just as she was beginning to step into greater independence as an actress and public figure, this controversy appeared, one that seemed designed not to expose but to destabilize. For audiences who have watched her journey, it was impossible not to see the deeper conflict between an artist trying to define herself and an agency determined to hold authority over her story. The emotions surrounding the moment were complex. There was confusion, certainly, but also a sense of betrayal that an agency could turn against its own talent so publicly. To many, it felt as if Zhao Lusi was caught in a storm created by those who should have been protecting her. Yet in this turmoil lay a truth that resonated strongly with viewers across cultures. The struggle for autonomy, the right to speak for oneself, and the courage it takes to resist when the very structures built to support you become the ones that try to silence you. What turned this incident from a fleeting scandal into something far more significant was Zhao Lusi's decision not to remain silent. In an industry where silence is often demanded and carefully maintained by agencies seeking to protect their own interests, her choice to step forward carried immense weight. She did not simply issue a flat denial, nor did she retreat behind vague words crafted by a public relations team. Instead, Zhao Lusi spoke in a voice that was distinctly her own, measured but firm, calm yet filled with conviction. What she said was less about addressing the details of the accusation and more about reclaiming the authority to define her own story. Her response reverberated because it revealed more than a defensive reaction. It was a declaration that she would not allow herself to be reduced to rumors designed to undermine her. At a moment when she could have chosen to avoid the spotlight, Zhao Lusi stepped into it, transforming the narrative from one of scandal into one of empowerment. She reminded her fans, and perhaps even her critics, that she was more than a figure being managed or marketed. She was an individual with her own boundaries, her own dignity, and the right to draw a line when others attempted to exploit her silence. For many who follow her career, the impact of her words was deeply personal. Supporters who had admired her for her talent now saw a different layer of courage. Her statement became more than a reply. It was a symbol of resilience, of an artist refusing to let her path be dictated by forces outside her control. Viewers felt pride, empathy, and even inspiration, recognizing in her struggle something universal: the fight for self-respect and autonomy in a world that so often asks women to be quiet, compliant, and invisible. What lingers in the memory is not the accusation itself, but the way Zhao Lusi carried herself in its aftermath. She refused to shrink under the weight of speculation, and in doing so, she transformed a moment designed to weaken her into one that made her stronger. Her voice, clear and unshaken, reminded everyone watching that there is power in speaking up, and that sometimes the most important victory is not over an opponent, but over the fear that seeks to silence you. When the accusation was first made public, many asked not only whether it was true but why it had been voiced in the first place. In an industry as complex and layered as Chinese entertainment, nothing is ever simple, and this incident quickly grew beyond the boundaries of a rumor about two individuals. To some, the agency's decision to accuse Liu Yunning of a personal relationship with Zhao Lusi's manager appeared calculated, less a matter of truth and more a demonstration of control. It was as though the agency wanted to remind everyone, including Zhao Lusi herself, that they could shape the story at will, turning attention away from her achievements and towards speculation they alone had ignited. But the situation is not only about authority and control. From another perspective, it reflects a deeper shift within the industry. Liu Yunning is a performer whose popularity has grown rapidly, propelled not only by his music, but also by his authenticity and connection with fans. His rise challenges traditional power structures, where agencies and production companies once held near total control over how artists were perceived and promoted. In dragging his name into the controversy, critics argue, the agency may have sought to destabilize him, to blur his reputation with scandal before his influence grew even stronger. It is difficult not to see the echoes of a system where the success of individuals can threaten the dominance of institutions, and where rumors become weapons to restore balance. For Zhao Lusi, the accusation raised another layer of complexity. As an actress who has worked tirelessly to carve out her place, the story was not only unfair but also deeply personal. Being linked to a rumor constructed by her own representatives was more than a betrayal. It was a warning. It carried an unspoken message that her independence, her decisions, and even her personal dignity could be subject to manipulation whenever it suited those in power. This is why her choice to speak out resonated so strongly. In breaking her silence, she challenged not only the accusation but the very idea that an artist's voice could be owned or silenced by the people paid to represent them. Observers from both inside and outside the industry have pointed to the wider implications of this moment. It has become a spark for conversations about the rights of artists, especially women, to protect their narratives from being twisted by the organizations meant to support them. It has also highlighted the fragile balance between trust and exploitation that often defines the relationship between agencies and their talent. These conversations, though painful, are vital, because they force both fans and professionals alike to confront the question of whose interests are truly being served in the entertainment industry. Perhaps what is most striking is how audiences across cultures have responded. They are not simply debating the rumor itself, they are asking why such a rumor existed at all. In their questions lies a collective demand for transparency, fairness, and accountability, values that transcend borders and speak to something larger than celebrity drama. This controversy, born out of suspicion and power play, has unexpectedly given rise to a dialogue about freedom, respect, and the courage required to resist systems that thrive on silence. What's truly inspiring here is how this incident has united fans. Across China, Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia, and even Western countries, audiences are not just gossiping, they're rallying. They're talking about freedom, fairness, and respect. It's no longer only about a dating rumor. It's about how we, as viewers, support artists who dare to speak up. This drama, in many ways, has transformed into a lesson in resilience and solidarity. So what do you think? Was this accusation just another agency power play, or a turning point in Zhao Lusi's career? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you want more stories that go beyond the surface of celebrity news, bringing you the drama, the emotions, and the truths that matter, make sure to subscribe to Update X24H. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned, because in the world of C entertainment, the next twist is always just around the corner.